Lewis Hamilton just received some terrible news from the top management at Ferrari, and it couldn't have come at a worse time. After a disastrous Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, where the seven-time world champion struggled all weekend and ended up finishing in a frustrating 7th place, the reaction from Ferrari wasn't just disappointing, it was shocking. As soon as the checkered flag waved in Jeddah, Ferrari team boss Frédéric Vasseur and the leadership group issued a brutally honest statement that completely changed the story of Hamilton's debut season in red. No sugarcoating, no hopeful messaging, just cold, hard truth. According to them, this project might already be collapsing. Ferrari's public message made it crystal clear. They're not happy, not with the results, not with the progress, not with Hamilton's performance, and not with Hamilton himself. Even Lewis admitted it openly. He said there's no fix for the SF-25 this year, no fix at all. And when he was asked about what's coming next, he had just one word to describe the rest of the season: painful. This is no longer just about adapting to a new car. It's not about learning or understanding a new team. This is now a full-blown crisis. And what happens next could define not just Hamilton's future at Ferrari, but his legacy in the sport, and Ferrari's future direction as well. Before diving into every shocking quote from Hamilton and Vasseur, and before revealing everything that's happening behind closed doors in Maranello, it's important to understand the full picture. Because what Ferrari just said changes everything. The hard truth is that Ferrari's SF-25 is not just a flawed car. It's unpredictable, inconsistent, and most critically, it doesn't respond to what Lewis Hamilton needs from a Formula One car. And what makes it even worse is that Hamilton himself says there's no fix in sight. Not this week, not next month, maybe not even this season. In Saudi Arabia, the problems were brutally obvious from the very beginning. From lights out to the checkered flag, Hamilton was stuck in a frustrating battle with his equipment. A 7th place finish might look decent on paper, but the reality behind it is much darker. He never looked comfortable. He was never really in the fight. And the man brought in to lead Ferrari back to glory admitted in his own words that it was horrible. From the very first lap, Hamilton was dealing with such severe understeer that he couldn't rotate the car through the corners. The SF-25 just wouldn't respond. Tire degradation started early. He was sliding, struggling, and not getting anything back from the car. Even after adjustments during the pit stop window, nothing really improved. As he put it, there was absolutely nothing positive today. This isn't just disappointment, it's defeat. Hearing a 7-time world champion say there's no fix for the SF-25 is shocking. This is Lewis Hamilton we're talking about, a driver who always believed in hard work, adaptation, and finding solutions. But now even he is admitting that this car might be fundamentally broken. He says this year will be painful, that he needs to keep working, keep breathing, keep moving forward. But you can tell the spark is fading. Then came Ferrari's statement. It didn't directly blame Hamilton, but it also didn't defend him. Vasseur made it clear. Adaptation is expected, performance is mandatory, and time is running out. Ferrari brought Hamilton in to lead, to inspire, and to fight at the front, not to be stuck in 7th, while Charles Leclerc is back on the podium. Yes, Leclerc delivered once again. The Monegasque driver keeps showing that even when the Ferrari car isn't perfect, he can still get performance out of it. He can still fight. He can still bring trophies home. Meanwhile, Hamilton is questioning everything, from the car's setup to the steering feel, the balance, the strategy. He's digging deep into his experience, but even that hasn't been enough to tame this machine. Something deeper is going wrong here. Hamilton described the SF-25 as alien, a car that doesn't behave like anything he's driven before. His usual strengths, braking precision, throttle control, corner exits aren't working. It's like the car is rejecting him. No matter how many hours he spends in the simulator or analyzing data, the gap isn't closing. And here's the scary part. If there really is no fix this season, Ferrari isn't just at risk of losing a championship. They're at risk of losing Lewis Hamilton's belief. This partnership is still new, but the cracks are already showing. Ferrari is trying to reshape its operations around Hamilton, while still relying heavily on Leclerc as the long-term foundation. That balance won't last forever. If performances like the one in Jeddah continue, internal tension will only increase. Media pressure will rise. Fans will start questioning whether bringing Hamilton in was a mistake. And don't forget what Hamilton said after qualifying. The fans are not happy, the team is not happy, the bosses are not happy, and I'm not happy. That's 4 alarm bells ringing at once, a clear sign that the driver is nearing his limit and the team may soon have to make some very uncomfortable decisions. So what now? The clock is ticking. The European leg of the season is coming fast, and with it comes a harsh reality check. Tracks like Imola, Barcelona, and Silverstone aren't just famous. They're brutal. They expose weaknesses, punish instability, and highlight every single flaw in car balance, tire behavior, and driver confidence. And right now, Ferrari is heading into that storm with a car that still doesn't work for one of the most successful drivers in the sport's history. Hamilton's 7th-place finish in Jeddah might look fine on the surface, but his tone told a different story. "It was horrible," he said. "There's no solution." That's not the voice of a fighting champion. That's the voice of a worn-down one, a driver losing faith in the machine under him. The SF-25 was never expected to be perfect right away, but it also shouldn't be this disconnected. Hamilton has now completed 4 full race weekends, and the same problems keep haunting him. Mid-corner sliding, front-end understeer, rear instability, unpredictable balance shifts. And that word keeps coming back. Painful. Even more alarming is that Ferrari itself seems to be losing hope. When Hamilton says the bosses aren't happy, he's not just venting, he's sending a warning. Tension is building behind closed doors. Maranello's top brass brought Lewis in to lead the team into a new era, to be the symbol of a bold new chapter. But instead, what they have now is a high-profile adaptation process under intense pressure. And it's not going according to plan. And Vasseur knows it. He's not just watching Hamilton suffer, he's seeing Leclerc thrive. And that contrast is becoming harder to ignore. Leclerc has been calm, consistent, competitive. He's getting the most out of a car that's far from easy. He's scoring points, standing on podiums, and building trust inside the garage. Meanwhile, Hamilton, despite all his experience and talent, is still trying to understand how the car behaves from sector to sector. That's the danger here. The momentum. Because in Formula One, momentum changes everything. It shapes setup, decisions, alters team strategies, decides who gets updates first, and even influences who the engineers trust more. If Ferrari starts centering its development around Leclerc, not officially, but subtly, Hamilton's influence within the team could begin to fade, not because of politics, but because of results. And let's be clear, this has nothing to do with Hamilton's age, motivation, or skill. He's still performing at an elite level, but Formula One is a sport of synergy. The driver and car must connect, and so far the SF-25 feels like a foreign language that Hamilton just can't translate. Every race weekend is a different dialect, every track a new puzzle, and the more time he spends trying to find the rhythm, the more ground he loses in the simulator, in meetings, in setups, trying to crack something that Leclerc seems to understand naturally. Now the paddock turns to Europe, and with it the demands from the Ferrari fan base will only grow. If answers don't come quickly, the pressure won't just land on Hamilton. It'll fall on Vasseur, the aerodynamicists, the strategy team, everyone. Because this project wasn't built just on hope. It was built around Hamilton, around his legacy, his voice, and his belief that Ferrari could be the final glorious chapter of his career. But if the car doesn't improve, if the results don't take a big step forward, then that dream might quickly turn into a nightmare. And that's what makes Ferrari's recent message after Jeddah so powerful. It wasn't just a performance review. It was a wake-up call. The next few races could define everything.